What's up, guys? We are planting seeds today. We're starting seeds. Got a bunch of different varieties and so forth, and getting it done, getting ready for the garden 2024. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. This is going to be kind of a how-to on how we start seeds inside. A little late on probably getting some of that done, but that's okay. The way we do it is going to be the way we show you. There's probably 150 different ways to go about it, but what you'll need is some seed starting mix, which we've got here. You'll need one of these trays. This is a 72 cell tray, and the way it works is you'll put your soil in there with the seeds, and you'll get this on there for the first 7 to 10 days until you see those sprouts starting to come up. We've got our seeds. This year we went a different route on the seeds the type of seeds. Usually we use other varieties of seeds, but this year we went with just the Fairy Morris seeds from the local box store. You'll need a bucket, and the reason for the bucket is you'll put your seed starting mix in the bucket. You'll get it really saturated, and we're going to then apply it to these cells, and then we'll put our seeds in from there. So once they get to a certain what we do is when we start them inside is we have a shelf, a rack that we put them on with grow lights, and we just let them run until we're ready to plant them in the ground. And each seed requires different needs. A lot of your hotter pepper plants or your hotter seeds need more heat, so I don't have that right here, but I can show you later. A heating mat that will fit. This will fit right on top of, which will allow that soil to get hotter. Warmer, I guess, not hotter, and allow those seeds to sprout. So anyway, we'll show you as we go along and do each step, and maybe this will help you if you want to start seeds inside, or maybe just a more simpler way to do it than what you've been taught. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to empty all of our contents. This is 12 quarts worth of seed, and we're probably using all of this. Probably using all of this to do all the seeds that we have. So that's going to be the first step, is to get your soil in your bucket and get it saturated. First, she's trying to help. I don't know if you can see that, but it's almost a half of a 5-gallon bucket worth. And as you can see, this soil is nice and fluffy, which is what allows the seeds the roots to be able to take place and grow without any problems. Okay, so we've got our water that I think this is, I don't know what this is. It doesn't say. Anyway, it's probably close to a gallon. And you'll be surprised how much of this you'll actually use. So anyway, I'm just going to start pouring it in there, and I'll show you the consistency we're looking for as we do it. So that's about 3/4, and I'm just going to start mixing it around by hand. And I'm using not cold water and not hot water either. It just kind of gives the soil a little bit of a jump start on the temperature. And what you're looking for is, you know, where you want this soil to almost be, when you squeeze it, water comes out, and for it to be a little compact. You can see how it's still crumbling apart, but there's still a lot of dry in there too. So we've got about 3/4 of that. We'll add another 1/4. We'll just keep mixing it up. Make sure to get all the way down to the bottom of your bucket. Now, keep in mind, we put the whole bag in here, so we want to be careful how much water we put in, because we don't have any additional soil to add to it. As you can see, as it's still a little crumbly. So we'll add another 1/4, a little bit more. You can hear it now. It's starting to be a little more soupy. If you've ever made bread and you're trying to get all the contents mixed into that dough, it's almost kind of sort of the same thing. See what we got. So I can squeeze that, and I can hear the water squeezing a little bit. So I'm going to leave it like that. So that's, I don't know, maybe not quite 3/4, maybe 2/3, but I'm going to go with that. I don't know if you can see that. Let me get a little bit smaller. You can almost hear that water. So that's good. All right, cleaning up, and we'll talk a little bit about the seeds that we're going to be starting. Okay, some of the seeds that we're going to be starting, I would say this is not limited to, because we always seem to kind of add to it as we go along, or we'll buy some plants here and there as we notice maybe some of our plants didn't take or whatever. But as far as tomatoes go, we have big reds, we've got the bigger boy hybrids, and we have some cherry tomatoes. Now I don't particularly like tomatoes to eat. I do like them in stuff, and I do like the products that they produce, and I like growing tomatoes, but I don't like to cut them up and slice them up and put them on a sandwich. That's just me. Everybody else, I think, in the family likes them. So anyway, we've got some orange sweet peppers. We've got your typical green bells. We've got some hot jalapenos, and we've got some red sweets. So we will plant those, and we may try to separate. We've got 4 or 5 of these 72 cell trays that will probably split things up because not everything grows the same. And we try to, on the back of your seed packs, most of them will give you a day to germination, and it's always best to group those plants together when you're starting your seeds, so that way your trays the plants will come up, about the same time, and you don't have, tomato plants way up here and maybe cabbage or something, way down here. So anyway, we've got winter squash, spaghetti squash. We've got pickling cucumbers, spring burpless cucumbers, and eggplant. Along with that, we've got your dark green zucchinis and your picnic squash, yellow squash. We also going to try broccoli, cabbage, and Brussels sprouts. I think one year we were able to get a couple small heads of broccoli, but and maybe some small cabbage. We've never had very much luck with those 3. We do have some herbs, and we will probably add to these as well. We've got some rosemary, cilantro, chives, basil. We've got some asparagus seeds that we'll probably try to find a designated spot to plant those. We've got the rainbow carrots, along with cantaloupe and watermelon. So those typically take a lot of space, so we'll try to find them a spot that we can plant them and they not totally take over. If you've grown them before, you know that they will anyway. So anyway, we'll group these together, and we'll show you how to fill the cells up with the dirt. Okay, so we'll get our dirt, our soil placed in our cells. Most likely we will have to get some more seeds, but that's fine for the size garden we have or plan to have. But anyway, this is pretty simple. We're doing this on the table, and I took and put some newspaper down to kind of control the mess a little bit. But anyway, it's pretty simple. You're just going to grab a handful of dirt and place it. This is the way I do it, is I place it right on the cells, and I spread it out so they all fill up. And one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to press down and pack your cells with this dirt in it, because you're gonna the roots won't they won't have anywhere to go because the soil is too compacted. So we're just gonna kind of spread this out a little bit the best we can. And it does take a little bit of time because a couple reasons. You're trying not to make a huge mess. You are dealing with dirt, so it kind of is what it is. Now, you do want to not have any voids in your cells. So you are going to press the soil down a little bit, but just not a great deal to where you're really packing it in there. So you can kind of see we've done this first half, and you can kind of go back and fill as you need, just to fill any gaps. But you know, just take your finger, just kind of push down. You can tell, like that one, you know, went down. It was not very much down in the bottom, so it just kind of just go through and do that. So you can see I've gone through and like I said, all I've done is just barely push down. I'm not pushing down in there, and you can see the gap that we have. And some of them are good, some of them need more soil. So that's all we're going to do is just go back, and now we're just basically going to fill them in so they're nice and level. And we're not gonna press these down anymore at this point. We'll disrupt this a little teeny bit when we go to put our seeds in, but and we're gonna do all of these cells, but for just showing you guys, we'll just do this one side. So anyway, that's all we're gonna do to these cells to get the dirt in there. They're nice and moist. We're not going to water them anymore until we put some water in the tray, and we'll show you that as well. Alright, so probably what we're going to do is start with the squash and zucchini. Now, in order to keep track of what you planted and where you planted them in your trays, you can use these little tabs, and you just simply stick them in right there. And when you plant the whole maybe 2 rows, and then you stick another one in the ground with it written on there. But I found that I didn't particularly like that method. So this year what I'm going to do is I'm just going to number my trays, and I'll have 1 through whatever it is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, and I'll write it on a notepad, and that way I'll be able to keep track of it. That's how I think I would like to do it, preferably. So we'll start with the squash, and what we know that we're going to do the first cell. If there's enough seeds, we will go to 2 cells, which I'm really hoping that there should be enough. But what we're going to do is we're going to plant the squash, zucchini, the eggplant, the cucumbers, and the winter squash all together, because they have roughly the same date of germination. So 10 to 14, 8 to 10, 7 to 14, 10 to 12, 8 to 10, 7 to 10. They're all going to be right there close together. So we'll plant them, and yeah, we'll see how far we need to go before we may have to end up adding some dirt over here. So. Okay, so what I suggest is that you, when you open these up, just take off the least amount. I mean, I guess you could just flip the tab back. That's probably the easiest thing. I typically just rip off the top little portion. We'll get this open, and get yourself a little plate or a bowl, and pour them out on there. That way you can keep track of them. Now take a pen or a marker or something, and let's just see how many we got. One. Since these are larger seeds, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 seeds. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 cells. We'll do the first 3 rows of this yellow squash. So what you're going to do is you're basically just going to, this package will tell you too how far down you need to go. Your depth is 1 inch. So we'll go down about 1 inch on each one of these. Oops. Doesn't need to be super precise. So, since these are larger seeds, we'll go ahead and just drop 1 down in there in each one. Now, on these smaller seeds, you'll want to put multiple seeds, 2 or 3 in each cell, just in case you get some that decide not to come up. Now this may not mean anything, but this to me, this little teeny seed is flat and rounded. I'm not going to use that one just because I feel like it may not germinate. So we've got them all in there. I'll just push them down a little bit. Some of them didn't fall all the way to the bottom. And that's it. So I'm just going to kind of cover these back up, and I'll make a note in my notebook for the 2024 garden seed starting that my first 3 rows in tray 1 are all yellow squash. So really the process to doing all of your seeds is pretty much the same as that. So we won't go through and show you every single one, but when we're all done, we'll show you kind of what we ended up with and how many trays and what we were able to plant, and we'll keep you posted as they start to grow. one thing I wanted to show you guys was, so you see where those like ribs are in this bottom tray. So that's where your water is going to go when you water these seeds. And if you look down in there, there's holes in each one of these cells. That's where you're going to want to water these when they get to a point where they need to be watered. You don't want to water from the top when your plants start to come up, or even beforehand. You don't want to put water on top because your roots are down below, and you want to keep the bottom where the roots are, that soil, nice and moist. So you don't want to overdo it. You're not going to fill this tray up, but you're going to put just enough so each one of these cells can continuously get water. Okay, so we've got this 72 cell tray all filled. Crystal's working on getting that one. That one is fully tomatoes. This one we've got squash, zucchini, eggplant, and then the last 3 rows are the winter spaghetti squash. So really, from this point, here's my little list. This is easy for me to follow. You can do it any way that's easy for you. So at this point, you just simply cover it with the dome that's included. There's other ways to do this, but this is the way that works best for us. We're using the Jiffy that we got from Walmart. They're pretty cheap. $6, I think, $5 or $6. So anyway, that's the amount of soil we have left with 2 trays. So I think we're going to have to go get some more. But yeah, it's pretty simple. Okay, so here's our rack. We just use these metal shelving. They're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tier. But we'll just set these here. I've got my lights set up. I mean, they're in here, but they're not at the right height. They're from last year. But we'll just let them sit here until the leaves start to come up and germinate. And once the leaves start to germinate and they're starting to come up, we will put some light on them and get them to start growing. Now, this light, you can see right now, it's about 4 inches from there. We'll lower this down to where it's about 1 inch above the plants themselves. So just remember to keep them watered. Don't over water them, but you got to keep that soil moist. Okay, so don't overdo it with the water, because those seeds don't like to be saturated. They're not going to do well. So anyway, we'll show you the process as we get the lights down on everything, and just keep you posted. Okay, guys. Well, I really hope you enjoyed that video. It's not a super detailed how to do seeds, but I mean, it's pretty close to what you need to get started. And really, the reason I didn't do too much detail, and as far as all the scientific terms and this, that, and the other, I don't know all of it, and I just want you guys to realize how simple it is. It's not complicated, so I don't want you to feel like you have to know this and you have to know that. I mean, there are certain things you do have to know, of course, but getting seeds started inside is real simple. You can do it. I know, because if I can do it, you can do it. But some seeds you can't start or shouldn't start inside, and you'll direct sow them right in your garden in the soil that's there.
But also maybe starting seeds is not something that's that's good for you or you're able to do. And there's plenty of places. Find a local nursery that sells plant starts. Um, they've gotten kind of expensive over the years, and I know that some of the box stores that sell seeds are, it's outrageous. It really is kind of more of a discouraging thing than it is than anything. But anyway, whatever your situation is, whatever you're able to do something. Even if it's one little raised bed, even if it's a 4x4 plot, even if it's a container, 5-gallon bucket. Grow something today. Grow something for yourself, for your family. Just get started, whether it's in an apartment um, or if you have a 100-acre farm. Um, just do something. But anyway, we hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel and share our videos. And we hope this one was helpful to you. We'll see you on the next one. God bless.